It's 3 o'clock in the morning. The world outside is wrapped in silence, lost in dreams, but you're wide awake, eyes fixed on the shadows dancing across your ceiling. Your chest feels like it's trapped under an invisible boulder, crushing the air from your lungs. Your heart pounds like a war drum, sweat beads on your palms, and your brain's alarm system is blaring red alerts as if a savage tiger is lurking in the corner, ready to pounce. But there's no tiger. Just you, alone with the storm raging in your mind. This is the raw, gut-wrenching isolation of a panic attack. In that heart-stopping moment, you trade anything for a steady voice to cut through the chaos. Someone to whisper, "You're not dying. This storm will pass. You're safe." But if you're like most people, dialing up a therapist at this ungodly hour, forget it, it's not happening. And even in the daylight, the hurdles are enormous. In the US, a single session can set you back $150 to $200. Waitlists drag on for months, leaving you stranded. So, in your moment of desperation, you grab the one companion that's always alert, your smartphone. You unlock it, tap open an app, and there it is, a cheerful, cartoonish face blinking to life. It greets you with a simple, unassuming question. "How are you feeling right now?" You type out your turmoil. The response pings back in seconds. It acknowledges your pain without hesitation. It walks you through a calming breathing exercise. It pokes holes in your spiraling, doomsday thoughts, and bit by bit, the flood of cortisol in your veins recedes. Your breaths even out. For the first time in what feels like forever, you feel truly heard. But here's the twist that sends a chill down your spine. The voice on the other end, it has no heartbeat, no memories, no soul. It's a chatbot fueled by artificial intelligence. Welcome to the bold, divisive, and downright eerie frontier of AI therapy. Right now, as we speak, millions of people are secretly turning to these digital companions for mental health relief. Apps like Woebot or Wysa are exploding in popularity, billing themselves as the tireless therapist who never clocks out, the non-judgmental friend who's always in your pocket, and the affordable clinician available 24/7 for free. On the surface, it feels like a revolution. Democratizing therapy, bridging the gaps in a world gripped by a loneliness epidemic. But is it really? Or are we sleepwalking into a dystopian nightmare straight out of Black Mirror, where we hand over our most vulnerable emotions to machines that fake compassion without ever tasting a single drop of it? I get it, I was the ultimate doubter. The thought of pouring out my innermost fears to a bunch of servers in a data center, it struck me as absurd, detached, and even offensive to the intricate maze of the human mind. How could lines of code possibly decode the raw edges of grief? How could an algorithm shoulder the crushing weight of anxiety? But then, I dug into the evidence. I pored over peer-reviewed studies on AI-delivered cognitive behavioral therapy. And what I uncovered? It floored me. Today, we're plunging headfirst into the inner workings of this digital therapy revolution. We'll unpack how these HIPAA-compliant bots use pure logic and pattern matching to reshape your brain's wiring. We'll explore the startling science showing why spilling your guts to a robot might actually be less intimidating than opening up to a human, especially for buried traumas. But fair warning, I'm also going to lay out a stark caveat. There's a razor-thin line between a handy tool for taming anxiety and a deceptive crutch that blocks real, lasting healing. By the time this video wraps, you'll have a crystal-clear map of what these bots excel at, where they fall flat, and why the future of mental health could be this weird, powerful fusion of circuits and souls. If you've ever felt utterly alone in the echo chamber of your thoughts, or if you're just intrigued by whether a computer could mend a shattered heart, stick around. Let's dive in. To grasp why this tech is genuinely making waves, we need to peel back the futuristic hype and peek at the machinery powering it all. The top apps, like Woebot, are rooted in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT for short. Forget the stereotype of lounging on a leather couch, dredging up childhood wounds, or dissecting your mom issues. CBT is practical, structured, laser-focused on the now, and driven by cold, hard logic. That's exactly why it slots so seamlessly into an algorithm. At its heart, CBT boils down to this. Your thoughts shape your emotions, and those emotions fuel your actions. Catch a twisted thought early, before it snowballs, and you can rewrite the ending. A human therapist listens closely and nudges you towards spotting those logical glitches. An AI? It does the same through razor-sharp pattern detection. Picture this real-life example. You fire up the app and vent, "I'm a complete failure because I bombed that meeting today." A well-meaning friend might chime in with, "Oh, no, you're not, cut yourself some slack. That's warm fuzzies, sure, but it doesn't rewire a thing." The AI, though, it's wired to flag distortions on site. It spots "I'm a complete failure" as classic labeling and all-or-nothing thinking. So it fires back with a probe. Does one slip-up really erase all your wins so far? Or maybe, would you hurl that at a buddy who made the same goof? This is the mirror trick in action. The bot isn't dishing out pat advice, it's reflecting your own mental process right back at you. Answering forces your prefrontal cortex, the brain's cool-headed logic hub, to kick into gear. And when it does, it dials down the amygdala, that primal fear factory blasting false alarms. That's the science behind why a quick chat can steady your pulse. No sorcery here, just your brain's built-in adaptability, neuroplasticity, flexing its muscles. But buckle up, because this is where it gets downright fascinating. You'd probably bet that chatting with a machine feels sterile, robotic, nothing like the warmth of human connection. Makes sense, right? Yet the research flips that script, especially when shame enters the picture. In psychology, there's this key element called the therapeutic alliance, the trust bond between you and your therapist. Even in the strongest ones, though, a hidden wall lingers, the dread of being judged. We're wired as social animals, craving acceptance, so we edit our stories on the fly. We polish up the messy bits, hiding the too broken or too weird parts to seem salvageable. Enter the AI, and poof, that wall crumbles. You know, deep down this bot can't judge you. No ethics, no gossip network, no awkward glances next session. Researchers dub this disinhibition, a freeing state where people unleash confessions they've buried from everyone else. Deepest fears, intimate struggles, bizarre intrusive thoughts, they all pour out. Why? Zero risk of rejection. In this arena, the bot's lack of humanity isn't a flaw, it's the killer app. That said, let's clear up a huge myth about the tech. When you hear AI therapist, you might envision a freewheeling ChatGPT-style bot churning out custom responses to anything you throw at it. That's generative AI brilliant, but it's also a serial fabricator. It hallucinates facts, which in therapy, that's a recipe for disaster. You don't want it inventing drug advice or echoing your worst delusions. That's why vetted, FDA-cleared bots play it smarter. They're not pure generative. They're a blend of rigid rules and natural language smarts. Scripted by experts like a therapeutic choose-your-own-adventure. Guardrails everywhere. If you hint at self-harm, it halts, funnels you to hotlines. It sticks to its script. Not your all-knowing sage, but your reliable coach. I put it to the test myself for 2 full weeks, grabbing a top app. I'm usually upbeat, but evenings hit me with this nagging anxiety, like I've dropped some crucial ball. Night 1 felt ridiculous. Texting a goofy cartoon from bed, like playing pretend. But by day 3, something clicked. It prompted my mood. I tapped anxious. Then, jot down the thought. I typed, I'm falling behind. The bot shot back, falling behind on what exact deadline? I froze, staring at the glow. There was no deadline, just foggy dread. Naming its specifics made the monster shrink. Anxiety didn't vanish, but it tamed from roaring beast to pesky fly. That's the magic. Not instant cures, but tools to steady yourself when the world's asleep. Now, the big pivot. If these bots are this potent, cheaper, quicker, everywhere, does that spell doom for human therapists? Are we swapping heartfelt ears for slick code? It's not that simple, and it spotlights AI's blind spot. A bot can tweak your thoughts, but it can't truly witness your suffering. There's a world of difference between a logical fix and being emotionally held. CBT's efficiency is rock solid, but mental health isn't just brain debugging. It's about feeling seen, grasped, affirmed by another living soul. A bot can mimic empathy. I'm sorry you're hurting. But you know it's empty code, emotionless. For everyday jitters, skill drills, or 3 a.m. meltdowns, game changer. But for profound wounds, loss, or that raw human void, can silicon ever fill it? Here's the real danger. Not AI flopping, but us getting hooked on its easy validation, dodging the raw grit of real bonds. We might crave the echo chamber over the pushback. So, what's the verdict? Can you entrust your mind to a robot? Flip the lens. View AI not as a human stand-in, but as mental hygiene gear. Like brushing teeth daily to dodge the dentist handle tiny distortions before they fester into crises. It's your mind's first aid kit, not a full ER. Paper cut? Band-Aid works. Gushing wound? You need a pro. For deep trauma or ideation, bots fall short, seek human depth. The empowerment? You're the healer here. The bot just prompts. You spot distortions, shift views, build grit. It's the gym gear, you're pumping the iron. A final heads up in this AI era. Don't let convenience lure you into solitude. Friction-free relationships feel safe, but true growth thrives in human messiness. Use bots to steady, learn, then weave those skills into braver real-world ties. In the end, therapy, digital or not, aims to make the guiding voice your own. If AI speeds that kinder inner dialogue, cheaper and wider, that's a win for us all. Be real with yourself tonight. When anxiety whispers, will you spiral or fight back? Your call. If this sparks something, don't miss the next one I'm exposing. Why you torpedo your own joy just as life peaks. It's the upper limit problem, and most folks are clueless victims. Subscribe. Hit notifications. See you soon.